It's Wednesday, March 27, 2019. Before I start the show today, I want to let everybody know I put a show on yesterday. It was demonetized. It's been shadowed. If you get a chance after watching today's show, please go back and watch yesterday's show. We talked about some real important topics, and we also put some video on from the gun range talking about the importance of getting in better physical shape and the importance of security. So if you do get a chance, go back and check out yesterday's show, because apparently we don't have as much free speech here in America as we once did. We have to be very careful what we're saying, or we will be demonetized, videos will be hidden, they will be shadowed, or they will just be taken down. So please go and check that video out. I want to start the show off today with some really good news. There was an article today on Breitbart. Dying, CNN lost almost 30% of primetime audience. That's on Breitbart today. And this is just an example that people are waking up. This is telling us that what we're doing is working. Even though we get discouraged sometimes that we're trying to wake people up, family members, spouses, whoever it might be, and we're not getting to them, there are people waking up. You know, when you make a comment down below, there are people reading these comments that maybe aren't awake, or maybe they're starting to wake up, and your comments are waking people up. These type of videos are waking people up. You telling and talking and waking people up out, with your family members, your churches, your friends, it's getting to people, and people are witnessing what's happening, the attempted coup that took place, the Russian collusion, the weapons of mass destruction, all these lies that have been taking place. And then they're reading your comments, or they're listening to what you're saying at home or at the church or with your friends, and people are waking up. Not everybody, but you may not see it, but you need to realize you are waking people up. You need to realize that when you post a comment down below, there are people reading those comments. And I've read a lot of comments where people have woken up. People are getting motivated. People are getting excited. People are starting to see the light. And so we are having an effect on what is happening today, obviously, because look at what just happened to CNN. They're sinking ship. Another article today, 90 million people pay money to CNN while fewer than 1 million people watch them. Less than 1 million people watch CNN now. Less than 1 million. 90 million pay. You know who that is? Those are the people that have cable. You and I that pay that cable bill. Those cable companies are paying CNN. Even though we don't watch it, even though we don't want to watch it, even though we don't want to pay for it, we're paying for it because our cable company carries it. Without that, CNN would be done. So it almost makes you think, like, maybe we need to call the cable service and say we don't want this, or maybe we need to cancel our service. Something to think about. But CNN is being financed through the cable companies. Less than 1 million people watch, yet 90 million people pay for CNN, when most of them, almost all of them, don't even want it. But let's go back to what we were talking about. We are having an effect. We are waking people up. You are waking people up. Continue making the intelligent comments. Continue. These comments down below, I try to read as many of them as I can. I do read most of them. They're enlightening. They open your mind. And people are starting to get it. We may not see all the people we're reaching. We may not be talking to all the people that we're reaching. We don't get that instant feedback. But this right here is telling us that we're starting to win. And now we have to put the pedal down and really get involved in this fight. We cannot allow the socialists to win. We cannot allow the fake media to win. We cannot allow CNN to win. We have the power. We are waking people up, and we've got to continue doing this. We live in crazy times, times of manipulation. We're living in this matrix, this illusion. Dow Jones down only 32 points today. Earlier in the day, it was down around 220, closed down only 32. With all the negative news, whether it be Boeing, Tesla, new home starts, retail, auto, consumer confidence, It's all bad news, yet we are still near all-time highs. Nobody can tell me without a doubt that there is not manipulation, there is not artificial injections taking place, that there isn't market rigging. These markets are completely controlled. You look at the Fed. The Fed has been lying to the American public for decades, forever. And they are lying more now than ever, and it's really, really dangerous. They cannot tell the American people the truth. They're not telling you why. They're not being honest with you why they've decided not to raise rates in 2019. They're not being honest with you when they tell you that they're going to end the Fed sheet tightening. They're doing this because they know that a recession is coming. If they told you the truth, if they told the American people the truth of why they were doing these things, these markets would crumble overnight. If they told you how bad things really were, these markets would crumble overnight. There would be blood in the streets. The goal of the Federal Reserve now is to keep the stock market propped up. Everyone enjoyed the 0% interest rates that went out for a decade, all this free money, and now America is going to pay the price for it because we have accumulated so much debt because of these 0% interest rates. We had rates too low, and they were too low for too long, and all it did was accumulate debt. The government now is running bigger deficits, has bigger debt than it did even during the Great Recession. The deficits and the debt continue to get bigger every minute. I have a question. If we as a country are running up this much debt and these enormous deficits right now in this so-called healthy economy, what is going to happen when this recession hits America? God forbid, a depression. What is going to happen with this debt? What's going to happen with these deficits? It does not take a rocket scientist to figure this out. They are going to get even bigger and more out of control than they are now. This debt cannot be paid back. It is completely unmanageable. This thing is going to be on super steroids when this recession hits. And there's people out there that think that this can't happen. There's people out there that are too concerned about reality TV. They're too concerned about their little fantasy bubbles that they live in, their little cocoons. There's people that are just hoping that this isn't going to happen, and it's going to happen. This recession's coming. It's on its way. It's like a heat-seeking missile. This recession's coming. Nothing's going to stop it. And when it hits, it's going to hit hard and it's going to hit quick. And people are going to be shell-shocked. They're going to go, what just happened? What's going on? These are going to be the most unprepared people. The naive, the millennials, the people who thought it could never happen, the people who put all their trust in the government, all their trust in the banks, all their trust in the markets. These people who depended on all this are going to be the most unprepared. Be your own central bank. Don't be dependent on anybody but yourself. Be ready, be self-sufficient, be your own central bank. Things are coming, you know it, I know it. And for the people out there who don't know it, if I'm right, you're in really, really big trouble. If I'm wrong, nothing's going to happen. Nothing certainly is going to happen to me. But if I'm right, I'm prepared for it, at least to the best of my abilities. If I am right, it's going to be a really, really bad day for you because you're completely unprepared. So if you're on the fence, if you're asleep and you're watching this, open your eyes, do your own research, do your own diligence, and really see what is going on. There are warning signs telling you every day that bad things are coming to America, things that are going to be of historical proportions, that are going to affect every man, woman, and child here in America. On one hand, you have the Fed unloading bonds, and on the other hand, you have the Treasury selling them like they're candy. This cannot go on forever. This will come to an end. Reality is coming to these markets, and reality is coming to every one of your lives. The realization is this: you can't raise rates on an economy that is based on debt. And one day the markets are going to wake up and they're going to realize this. And when this happens, you will see historical events take place in America. You're going to see very dark times and violent times in America when this transpires. We're going to witness a couple things for sure in America. We're going to witness the collapse of this economy, and I believe it has to happen. Literally like a cleansing. We're going to witness the collapse of this economy, and we will possibly witness the collapse of the US dollar. And these are going to be life-changing events for everybody, no matter how prepared you are. These are going to be life-changing events. These are going to be historical events. And again, the people who have no idea what I'm talking about, the people who are completely unprepared, these people are going to be victims. You know, we have a drug problem in America, not just illegal, but we have a real pharmaceutical epidemic taking place here in America. So many people on depressants, psychotropics, so many people dependent on pharmaceuticals. Imagine what you're going to see when this economy collapses in America. The amount of depression that we already see in this so-called healthy economy, so many people dependent on pharmaceuticals just to live one day at a time because they're so depressed, and you know, so many mental disorders in this healthy economy. Imagine the mental disorders and the depression you're going to see when the Great Recession hits the United States of America. There's going to be a couple warning signs right before this happens. When the Fed goes back to 0% interest rates, when the Fed goes back to quantitative easing, this is going to be the last warning before the collapse. This is going to be the last hurrah, their last try, the last trick, the last injection of drugs into the dying patient. And it may work temporarily, it may get a pulse, but eventually it's going to end. So look out for rates going to zero. Look out for quantitative easing. This will be the last warning. When this happens, you know the collapse is very, very close. America, I love this country. I don't want to see anything bad happen to it. I don't want to see it fail. But this genie has been let out of the bottle. This recession is on its way. It's knocking at the door, and you need to get ready. You need to be getting prepared. And I can't stress that enough. You know, the media and all these business analysts and all these business shows, they keep telling us that inverted yield curves don't mean what they used to. And that's really shocking, because inverted yield curves typically mean you're on the doorstep of a recession historically. But now they don't mean what they used to. They're telling us that as consumer confidence is at 2008 levels. They're telling us that as real estate is slowing down across America, as new home starts are way down, as retail's getting slaughtered, as the auto industry is struggling, as we're witnessing a global slowdown. We need to stop believing everything the media is telling us. There were never any weapons of mass destruction. There was no Russian collusion. And inverted yield curves do matter. Look at the reality that we're living in right now here in the United States of America. Our politicians still believe there was Russian collusion while America is imploding in debt and deficits. We are literally watching our country burn to the ground. The Democrats still seek to impeach Donald Trump over something that he never did. You know, they still can't accept that Trump's the president of the United States of America. They can't accept the Mueller verdict now. Trump has beat them at every turn, and they continue to try to attack, demonize, and tarnish his reputation, his family, and his presidency. Every day that goes by, this country falls deeper and deeper into the abyss while these people hope they can find some reason to end Donald Trump's presidency. How much damage are they going to continue to do to America to ruin Donald Trump, to ruin the patriots, to ruin the Americans that voted for him? These people, their agenda is to bring America down any way that they can. And I truly believe that they're going to use the economy to bring Donald Trump down, to bring America down. They're going to continue to use invasions of illegal aliens from all over the world to come up our southern borders. They're doing everything they can to gain an advantage so that they're going to be voted in, no matter if that's voted in by people not from this country. They're going to do whatever it takes to get rid of this president and to get rid of the patriots. So they're going to continue to tax you. They're going to continue these invasions. They're going to continue to attack your freedom, your free speech, your gun rights. Watch out for the economy, folks. This is the next plan of attack. This is how they feel, how they think they're going to bring Donald Trump down is with the economy. They're going to blame everything. They're going to throw this economy into his lap, and they're going to blame him. You know, decades and decades of these deficits and this enormous spending, they're going to blame it all on Donald Trump. This is why you better get prepared with security. This is why you better have some of this. This is why you better have some cash laying around, your food, your water, medical supplies. Guys, we're going to be heading into some real serious times here. I really, truly believe that. So please get ready. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe. Continue to get the word out. We will be victorious. America will win. But we're going to go through some real dark times. Be prepared. Get ready.